It's a beautiful Sunday, September 14th, and you're listening to the Oklahoma Breakdown with Ikard and Lehman, presented by Riverwind Casino. Riverwind is Oklahoma City's premier casino experience, and there are so many reasons why Riverwind is consistently voted OKC's #1 casino, but it all starts with their amazing variety of gaming thrills and excitement. Riverwind's beautiful award-winning environment plays host to more than 2,800 of the latest electronic games with a huge selection of table games, including blackjack match, roulette, and Teddy's favorite, craps. No matter what your game, Riverwind has it in spades and hearts. And to learn more about their gaming promotions and entertainment options, all you got to do is visit riverwind.com. Riverwind Casino, always a good time. And the Oklahoma Sooners are 3-0.
3-0. 3-0, getting better. No complaints here. Not a lot of complaints, anyways.
We'll have some complaints, I'm sure.
Right.
Considering all the circumstances for that game, coming off the Michigan win, knowing Auburn's coming to town next week for a huge football game. It was a weird environment there at Lincoln Financial Field. I'm really pleased with how this team played.
I agree. It was one of those, I thought, you were going to be able to tell a lot about the football game because of the early kick, the quiet environment with how we started off. And Temple chose the football, 3 and out. Offense goes down, scores. I mean, that's how you want to respond to that type of situation.
I think it showed a lot about the maturity and the leadership on the team. Handled it like the business trip that it was. Wasn't perfect. We'll get into that on both sides of the ball, but they made Temple look really bad. And I don't think Temple's nearly as bad as OU made them look yesterday.
Right. I agree. I mean, that's how it should go. I mean, you want to make teams that are inferior to you look bad. I thought one of the good developments was special teams was a lot better. We were clean. Like you don't have to do a whole lot special teams, just avoid the major mistakes, make a couple of plays, kicked a 50-plus yard field goal, really good kickoff, pinned them down on the 1 yard line. Bad decision by their player, but still that swings it big in your favor. Had a couple of really nice punts. So I thought we needed a bounce back performance on special teams. I think we got that.
That's a great point. Now, before we dive into your breakdown of what you saw from the defense, Ted, I can see the comments on this already. People are going to ask about the shirt. outlasted.com, promo code TED for 10% off.
There you go.
That's where you'll find the shirt. And if you're not watching on YouTube, then
watch on YouTube to see the shirt.
Yeah. Now you got to check YouTube to see what shirt it is. All right. What'd you see from OU's defense versus Temple's offense, Ted?
Exactly what you want to see. Just fantastic team defense. I thought they came out energetic, ready to play, physical, tough, hard-hitting, punishing defense, quarterback constantly under pressure. Venables, because I've talked about this a lot, because of this group's experience and depth and intelligence, that he can call a lot of stuff and they can execute it really well. Thought a bunch of guys had really, really solid games. Defensive line continues to be the strongest, at least in my opinion, the strongest asset of this entire football team. Good depth, solid play, just destroying the line of scrimmage. I mean, the entire game, the line of scrimmage is just constantly going backwards in a big way. I thought those guys played well. I thought the backers were solid. Didn't have a loud game, but I thought that they were pretty much responsibility sound. Got to see some younger guys come in, which I thought was good. Tackling for the most part by the backers was really good. We had one play. Ducker had he had 24 yards on the day and had 20 of them on one carry, and we had a bunch of missed tackles on that one random play. And that's really, the worst thing we had all day. But tackling outside of that was pretty good. Secondary, super physical from the secondary. It was good to see Kendall Dolby out there getting his first action, getting back acclimated. Saw some really good stuff from him. Maybe saw a little bit of rust, but not too bad. Um, it's a little bit of a different move, and I know he's practiced out there a lot, but playing straight up corner instead of the cheetah spot, so a little bit different for him. It's good to get him back. Safeties, I thought, were solid. Boganowski is an absolute hammer, just continues to every single time you see 25 show up on a play, he's destroying someone. Sometimes it's us, sometimes it's them, usually them, but that guy is a missile. So
I
um,
like to imagine that the skill guys for the opponent watch it, like the running backs particularly, and right after they see it for the first time, they go to their equipment room and they're like, "Hey, I'm going to need the rib protector this week."
there's no doubt. And that's why I always say that you have to cap off. You have to have safeties that cap off. Anytime there's a run and a guy's, battling for an extra yard while two or three guys are hanging on to him, a safety has to come up and punish that guy because people see it on film and they start going down way quicker, right? You feel it a couple of times, you catch the ball on the perimeter, you get a yard or two, and then you go down so you don't get absolutely hammered. Guys that I thought played really well. I want to start with this player because I am uh, beyond pleased with where he's come. Marvin Jones Jr. Um, last week at Rudy's Venables, we talked about him a little bit, and he kind of talked about the process of going through the transfer portal, and originally watching the film with him when they were, you know, recruiting him to come here, and Venables is like, "You're not any good. You don't play hard. You don't play with technique. You like the switch comes on and it goes off. There's no consistency," which is that where you want to go play when someone says that? But I think he's become an excellent. I never would have thought watching him when we were, going through his stuff in his old film when we were doing some in the weeds before he got here. Um, we thought, yeah, pass rush guy, come in, give you some length off of the edge. I think that he has quickly become maybe our most technically sound, fundamental, uh, responsibility driven edge player. He's doing a bunch. His pass rush is there. His technique on the run game stuff. Whenever it's tough to play edge, man. You got crossers coming at you. You got split zone blocks, and they're reading you on things. It is not easy. There's a lot coming at you really fast, and he's done an excellent job. Really proud of the way that he's come around. David Stone continues to get better and better and better. We got 3 games in, and that man has made his presence felt in all 3 games. He's getting better and better. And those guys, you can tell. I've talked about this when D line gets in the action early and they're making plays and they can sense it. They keep coming and they get a lot of confidence. And I feel like you can see that in the individual games, but through the first 3 weeks, I think that they know how good they are and they're playing to that. And it looks really good. Jaden Jackson, excellent again. Dominic Williams, excellent again. And our Mason Thomas, which, we'll talk about this, had the targeting call. It's a weak targeting call. There's a lot of that going around right now, and it's it's a bad rule, and it's given us a bunch of bad results, and we're missing a bunch of good football players across the country because they have to miss time over technically targeting, but we have to go to review and see if it's a target. Yeah, it looks like a target. And then you got a player that has to miss games and oftentimes have to miss either whole or portions of massive football games on just regular run of the mill football plays. No malicious intent, not late, not launching into someone's face, just football plays, and they're being punished for it. You want to throw the 15-yard flag? I'd rather you not, but if we have to have it for player safety, do it. But kicking these guys out for plays that happen in the framework of a football game that are not, again, malicious, the rule has to be changed. We have to change that, in my opinion. And I wish they would change it today, not later on down the line. What did you think of the targeting call on R. Mason Thomas?
It sucked, and the rule sucks.
Yeah.
It's like Whit Weeks for LSU gets tossed out of that game, the first drive of the game, on a hit that he doesn't launch. He did, like, his head barely lowers. By the way, when you're running full speed at people and you go to strike someone, your head naturally lowers a little bit.
Right.
It's how anatomy works. It's the rule. I was a fan of the rule initially, but I believe it's a rule that should call itself. You should see a play and be like, oh my gosh, that guy tried to hurt that guy. He's got to go.
That's right.
That's not what R. Mason Thomas did.
No. Vandy had one.
Vandy had
Sellers.
one. Yeah. I mean, knocked Sellers out of the game, and we'll recap that game and winners and losers, but that wasn't targeting. The guy's just got his hands up trying to bat the ball down and nudges Sellers in the face.
Yep.
He didn't target him. He didn't launch at his head and try to hurt him. The rule's got to go away. Or it's got to be changed. Like it's just bad. It's having far too big of an effect on the college football season.
No doubt.
It sucks. Fix it.
I totally agree.
And we said this. People will say, well, where were you saying this before the Michigan game with Barham? We said that call sucked too.
That's right. Yep. That's right. It's not good. They need to do something with it. And if people get loud enough, I'm sure they will. But I thought R. Mason Thomas played another really good game. He's doing exactly what he needs to do within this defense. He's being responsibility driven. I know he's hungry. I know he wants big sack numbers, and I know the fans want that. It's going to come. He's playing really good football for us right now. I know he's frustrated with what happened, but we need him. We're going to need him in the second half, so hated to see that. Taylor Wine played really well. Got to see quite a bit of PJ. I think he continues to get better and better. He had an impact on the game. At backer, just really solid. Kip, Kobe, Kendall Daniels, Owen Heineke, Omasigo, those guys, I thought they were all really sharp, getting better. Like Omasigo's getting better. Heineke still has the motor, responsible. Like the guys are, it's good team defense all the way across. Defensive line is winning like crazy. And on the back two levels, we're where we need to be to clean it up. And when we have opportunities to make some big plays, we've done that. And it was really good late to see Heim and Nesta get in. We need to continue to build the depth, and I think those guys are getting better. On the back end, Reggie Powers, really good day. Boganowski, Guillory. I mentioned Kendall Dolby being able to play earlier. I thought it was awesome to get him out there, get him some action. He looked good. And Robert Spears Jennings, those are the main guys that stood out. Uh, when you look at the statistics at the end of the day, it looks just like what your eyes were telling you during the football game. Destructive, penetrating, a lot of plays behind the line of scrimmage. The offensive line constantly going backwards, constantly going backwards. The penetration, the stunts, the run stunts that we run up front look excellent. The penetrator and then the looper, I mean, probably 75% of the time, both of those guys are free to make plays. Um, I mean, again, it's kind of like last week against Michigan. The we had a couple of explosives to talk about in that game. I mentioned the one run where we missed a couple of tackles and it went for 20. Outside of that, a really clean football game. I do um I guess I I don't want to say I question it like there's something hanging there that I'm worried about, but as the competition gets better, the offensive lines get better, and the wide receiver core is the main thing. Like we have not faced a really good wide receiver core yet. We're about to against Auburn. Um, that's kind of the last thing I need to see is, and I wouldn't say that Auburn has a great passing attack, but they have good players at the wide receiver position that they can use in a bunch of ways. They're going to be tough to tackle. They're going to push the ball down the field to these guys. They've got size, they've got athleticism. That's really the next challenge that we've got to see before I'm ready to just go all in on how good this group is. But through 3 games, better than I expected, and already I feel comfortable saying it's the best defense we've had in a long time, and that's coming on the heels of a really good unit last year. Um, the potential of this group, I don't know. It incredibly high.
The It's probably important to remind people that Temple's offense came into this game with a ton of confidence. That staff thought they were going to be able to find some things offensively.
Yep.
And they are essentially were reduced to throwing the ball into the flat.
Or into the ground.
That's
Yeah.
that's basically the only success they found.
Yep.
This defense continues to show that they're one of, if not the best in the country.
I agree.
I know the competition's going to get better, Ted. There's no doubt about it. And we're going to find out a lot about this defense on Saturday. But you can only play who's on the schedule. And so far, OU's defense has dominated everyone that they've played.
Yep. And here's the thing: like they got put in another bad spot, right, where they gave up the field goal, but they did exactly what they needed to do.
They should have 2 shutouts.
Yep.
Illinois State should have been a shutout if it wasn't for a turnover by the offense in our own end of the field. And same thing applies to this Temple game. There's just simply no way Temple's driving the length of the field and going and scoring points.
Nope.
They got handed a field goal. It should be 2 this defense should have 2 shutouts in 3 performances.
Yep.
And in my mind, they do. Like those, I put that on the offense. Like those points don't go on the defense. I know they go on the defensive stats. I get that. But in my mind, like they pitched 2 shutouts in 3 games.
Yep. That's right. And frankly, I won't look ahead to Auburn, but I expect these guys to continue to get better and better and better. But week 3, not a lot to hit on. Again, the only real thing is our Mason Thomas missing the first half because of the targeting. Feel like we got out of there pretty healthy. PJ had a huge hit on a little ghost action, jet sweep action. Totally eliminated the receiver. I don't know if he just took a shot on the shoulder, but I think he was okay. I think Marvin Jones Jr. and Dominic Williams were fine. They were hobbled a little bit, but both were kind of laughing and carrying on like they weren't worried about anything. So health wise, I think we're in a good spot. Depth wise, in a good spot. So I like where we are.
Anything else?
I
OU's
think that's it.
defense. All right. Let's talk about what we saw from the Sooners offense against the Owls. But first, taking a road trip this summer? Remember to stop at Love's Travel Stops. You can't miss the heart of the highway, and with the Love's app, you can save big all summer long. You can save 10 cents per gallon on gas and up to 25 cents per gallon on auto diesel. Save with the Love's app this summer and be welcomed by clean places and friendly faces. Certain conditions may apply. See loves.com for details.
It's football time in Oklahoma, and you need beef built like our guys on the field, premium, powerful, and ready to perform. That's Didier Ranch. They're a family ranch right here in Oklahoma, raising and shipping their own beef nationwide. Steak burgers, premium ground beef, and they hand deliver next day to the Oklahoma City metro and surrounding areas. Norman, Moore, Edmond, Yukon, right from their ranch to your doorstep, faster than the Sooner Schooner after a touchdown drive. Premium beef delivered. Visit DidierRanch.com and taste the luxury of tradition.
And we are brought to you by Simple Modern, the Oklahoma-owned company and proud official drinkware partner of the OU Sooners. September in Oklahoma means one thing: OU football is here. And every home game this season will feature exclusive limited edition drinkware drops from Simple Modern. That means brand new designs only available at that game and while supplies last. You can also get $5 off our podcast tumbler with promo code GameDay on simplemodern.com. And with 10% of all profits going to charity, many right here in Oklahoma, every sip supports Oklahomans on and off the field. Simple Modern, good everywhere. All right, looking at what we saw from OU's offense against Temple's defense. First of all, just some solid balance when you look at it. And I know that we all still want the running game to get going at a higher level. I get that. But 287 passing, 228 rushing, that's the type of balance you're looking for offensively. And a few things stood out. Thought Ben Arbuckle did a good job of showing some new formations. We saw more condensed formations in this game from the Sooners than we did the other two games combined. Now, I still think this is a team that is best to spread teams out and to attack light boxes in the run game and to let wide receivers just go win matchups. But I did like seeing them get into some of those condensed 2x2 formations where those four pass catchers are close to the core. We saw some tight bunch where and ran some plays into that. So I thought it was important to get those on tape. And I assume that Arbuckle will explore some of the things he liked, some of the things he didn't like out of those formations. Had some nice route combinations. That's the word. Some route combinations out of those tight alignments that looked good. So we'll see if that's something they build on. Just looking at the run game, the speed sweep pop pass is a rather effective play for this football team.
Yeah.
If they're not going to stop it, just keep running it.
Satania looks so smooth running it as well. I mean, when he gets a couple of blockers out in front, he's dangerous.
It looked really good. It's just a perimeter run play, and you kind of reduce some of the risk by just throwing it forward with Mateer. If that guy bobbles it and drops it, it's an incomplete pass. So I thought that play looked really, really good for Burks, for Satania. I think Elijah Thomas even had one late, and I was impressed with how the wide receivers blocked for each other in those situations. Really physical on the edge in a couple of those. So I think that can become a big piece of this offense. Like that looked good. And one thing on those plays, the offensive line, like the guys that are climbing to the second level, stop helping on the down lineman and just go. Those guys aren't going to make the play.
Yep.
They're not going to make the play. Just go. Go and get a piece of a second level defender, and just getting a piece can be the difference between one of those going for 6 yards and one of those going for 26 yards.
Yep.
So I would like to see him be a little more urgent getting up in those concepts as opposed to securing the down guys so much that really don't factor into that play.
I'll say this too. it was so successful that you created a statistical anomaly where Satania had more yards after catch than he had yards receiving, which is pretty cool.
Well, we did a great job. Arbuckle did a great job of just getting the ball into Satania's hands. We'll get
Yeah.
there. We'll get there when
Yep.
we go position by position. I One thing that we saw in the run game, Temple spilled a bunch of the counter stuff, spilled that first puller, and I thought that we did a solid job of adjusting to that on the fly at the guard position. And I thought the tight ends did a solid job of adjusting. You know, we've had some issues on the timing and the fit of those counter pullers. I thought those guys did a solid job, and that play was hitting kind of a little wider because Temple, when they were taking on that initial puller, were playing underneath that guy and spilling everything outside. So that was something we really hadn't seen a lot of, and I liked the way that it looked. It was clean for the most part from a blocking standpoint. Ran quite a bit of one back power, and when the tight end at the point of attack held his own, it looked solid. I think maybe we could get to like some power, or I guess it'd be counter technically, like some influence maybe, where that tight end kind of looks like he's blocking and then goes and blocks a second level player, and that lineman pulls and kicks that edge guy out. I think that may set the tight ends that we have up for a little more success than, hey, here you go, man. One-on-one down block against this edge guy. Hold on for your dear life.
Right. No, I'm with you.
But when the tight end held up on those plays, it looked good. It looked good. I thought those were some of our best blocked plays of the day. Getting to the position breakdowns, John Mateer, the stat line's not going to wow you. 20 of 34 for 282, touchdown, interception, had the 63 yards rushing, had the long touchdown run. There's really not a lot to complain about, though. The completion percentage isn't what you want it to be, but it's not like he had a bunch of bad misses, if that makes sense, Ted.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
The big complaint of the day for him is, and it's just unfortunate because I don't see, watching the tape, I just don't think he sees that backer when he throws Keontez Lewis into that big hit.
Yeah.
I just don't think he saw him, man. Because he's been really good for the most part with his ball placement and protecting his guys, like throwing it to back shoulders and not leading them into big hits, into big contact, and throws him right into that one. It's an unfortunate play, and we'll see. He's going to be mad at himself for that. I mean, there's just no doubt about it. And we'll see what that means for Keontez's availability this week. Usually you miss a game. I mean, it's just how it is, right? So
yeah,
you got to be smart with that stuff. That clearly was an unfortunate play. Somehow not reviewed for targeting. Somehow. But it is other than that, I thought Mateer played a solid game. I do want to point something out. Like, the fan base seems terrified when he gets hit. Like, terrified. Dude, the guy is built solid, man. Like, this is what he did for an entire season at Washington State. I want him to be smart too, but can you guys just let the guy play some football and be a football player and not freak out every time he takes a hit? It's football, man.
I hear what you're saying, but the fan base there's a lot of PTSD there. All right. They're jumpy for a reason, I guess.
Just settle in, Sooner Nation. Settle in. The guy, he's going to go make plays with his legs. I think he's going to get better at stepping out of bounds. And there were some moments in this game. He steps out of bounds, doesn't take an unnecessary hit. But you don't want to turn that completely off, man, because it's hard to flip it back on, brother.
That's right. That's right.
So just maybe don't completely freak out every time the guy gets hit.
He's got to, ultimately, you need him to go be a football player. And
yes.
You're right. Like, you don't want to coach that completely out. You have to give him some discretion out there on the field. So just going to have to live with it a little bit. It's going to be tough.
Michael Hawkins got some action. Was great to see him out there. And I thought he did some good things. I know when you look at the numbers, you're going to go, wait, what? Showed off his legs, made some good decisions. When there was nothing there, just pull it down and run. And I liked the chances he gave guys down the field. Wasn't able to connect on them. I think Elijah Thomas was the one that drew the PI on
Yeah.
one of the deep balls that he threw. But some people may look at it going, why is he chucking it down the field? He's chucking it down the field because that's what the box dictated him to do. He was making good decisions. Like OU was out there running their offense, getting him real reps. He did a good job of throwing those RPOs and pushing it down the field because we were at a box count disadvantage if we would have handed the runoff. So it's just him making good decisions with the football, honestly, Ted.
Yeah. Yeah. And, we didn't get a whole lot of opportunities. They played, we talked about this in the week leading up that, there's a good chance they're going to try and keep everything in front of them, too high safety look for a big chunk of the game. And, whenever they go to a single high and bring some more guys down low, you get some one-on-ones on the outside. You got to let those guys have a chance to go make plays.
Wide receiver, Deion Burks, 3 for 36. Ball just didn't really find him in this one.
Yeah.
It happens sometimes, but I focused on him a lot going back and watching the game. Like he's playing fast, mixed it up as a blocker on a lot of that perimeter stuff when he wasn't the one getting the ball. He can continue to improve that piece of his game, but he gets a massive assist on Mateer's long touchdown run. The entire Temple defense runs with the speed sweep action and Deion Burks as if he had a gravitational pull.
Hey, that's what happens that's why that's such a dangerous play. You stress the defense over and over to the perimeter with it. It pulls people out of the box, it pulls their attention out of the middle of the field whenever you're running it on the interior.
So Deion was good. Isaiah Satania, his best game in an OU uniform.
Good bounce back.
7 for 97. And I feel like I'm going to say this about Ben Arbuckle a lot. Just using the guy in the right way within the offense. Hey, get him the ball and let him go be fast. Get him the ball quickly. The speed sweep pop pass, the quick screen, kind of the tunnel screen action that they threw to him. We knew Temple was a bad tackling secondary. So get the guy the ball and let him go be athletic. Sometimes it's that simple. And I thought Satania looked really good in a lot of those situations where, hey, the ball was just in his hands quickly and he went and got yak.
Yep.
It was great. Really liked seeing it. Now, the next step for him is at some point, Mateer and him are connecting on one of those deep over routes, man. He looks so good running that route. It's coming. I'm telling you.
I like it. Yeah.
It's coming. Hopefully on Saturday against Auburn.
He's, I do like that. You can't really just dial in on one guy. It feels like every week that someone else is having a really good game, and that makes it hard on defenses. You can't just dial in and spin coverage to one guy over and over. So it's good to see that, through 3 weeks, there's kind of been a different main target.
Keontez Lewis, 3 for 26 before he got knocked out of the game. And I just continue to be impressed with his sense of finding space and coverage. Guy he gets open. He finds windows. He's extremely valuable, and that's if he misses the Auburn game, which kind of just has to be what we're expecting to happen, right?
Yeah.
That's someone else has to step up and fill that void because he's the best we got at finding those spaces in the middle of the field. Mm-hmm. Not saying that Burks and Satania are bad at it, but like Lewis, you can just see it on the tape, man. He's got kind of just a natural feel of like, oh, I'll just stop here. I fit here.
Yeah. You got to have that. I mean, it's those outside guys that are working the in-breaking routes, have to have a good feel for what coverage is doing, who's the hook player, flat player, finding a place to settle in between everyone.
Saw some Zion Kearney, 2 for 31. He looks really good physically right now. I'm expecting him to continue to improve. We saw some Ivan Is it Carrion or Carrion?
I don't know.
The pronunciation guide says Carrion, but I feel like no one says it that way
Yeah, I think Toby says it that way.
because that's what the pronunciation guide says, and Toby is a true professional.
Right. So I think that's it.
We'll call him Big Ivan for now.
Big eye.
Big I. It got some run out there. He almost had a really nice catch on the ball down the sideline from
Yeah.
Mateer. He's not a burner. He's not going to create a bunch of separation, but if he can go and move the chains or be a red zone target for this team, like in some of those situations, then he brings value to this team. Elijah Thomas, just 1 for 5 on the speed sweep pop pass. I will say he continues to show up on special teams.
Yep. That's right.
The best way to earn more reps at wide receiver is to continue to make plays on special teams. That does not go unnoticed.
No doubt. 100%.
So keep making plays on special teams, ET, and you will continue. Like, good things will happen. You will be rewarded in some form or fashion. Running back. Tory Blaylock's good, dude.
Yep. He's the guy.
He's RB1. It's clear.
He's RB1.
Speed, power. But I think both of his touchdown runs show how he is rounding into a complete running back. Like, he scores one, trucking a safety at the goal line. And then the other one is just like, hey, bad defense, frankly, from Temple. No contain. He sees it, just steps on the gas, runs around the corner, scores a touchdown. Speed, pure speed.
Speed, vision. He's got a good feel of, when to take it outside of kind of the framework of what the run and where it's supposed to hit and just go get yardage whenever a defense over or underplays something.
Finishes runs. Really like it. Assignment sound and pass protection. Ended up with 14 for 100 and 2 touchdowns. My only complaint, he would have had a big one in the passing game, Ted, but he dropped it.
Yeah, I know it.
He wants it back. It's not a big deal against Temple, but that's a play he has to make in some of these SEC games that are going to be decided by one score. Like, you've got to make that play when Mateer puts it right on you, hits you in stride, and you got a chance to take one for 20, 40. You got to make that play.
Yep.
And I expect him to. I expect him to make that play moving forward.
Yep, I agree.
Barnes, 5 for 12, not many touches. I feel like we know what his role is on this team. Hey, pass protection, short yardage and goal line, gets the touchdown. Really nice cut on that run from him and just punches it in with physicality. Like, that's Javonte Barnes' role on this team. He's the physical back. Like, that's his role. Xavier Robinson. 5 for 26 for Xavier. Had the touchdown catch as well. I really like the way he looks on the counter concepts. And I know that it wasn't necessarily good on good for some of those, but out of anyone on the team, he's got the best feel for those concepts. He's got the best pace, if that makes sense.
Yep. He's patient, and he just kind of floats and lets those blocks come around and see how the defense is going to fit. And then he makes his move. And I'm with you. And he's just like, when you watch him run, like Blaylock, since he's a smaller guy, he is behind his pads, full speed, physical runner. Xavier's a little bit different. He's a bigger body, so he's not like barreling into people, but he's still hard to bring down and falls forward, which is what you want.
He is. I wonder if he can be like the closer for this team.
Yeah.
Like, he can have that second half role where, hey, defense is a little worn down. Now we're going to hit you with some of the gap scheme stuff. Oh, we've got this 235, 240-pound running back that has a great feel for these concepts. Here we go. Hand it to 24. Be interesting to see if he kind of develops that role for this team. He was better. He was assignment sound in pass protection.
Good.
Now he needs to be more violent in pass protection. He's kind of absorbing when he needs to be striking like Barnes does. And frankly, Blaylock does a good job as well.
Yeah, he does.
So that is, but some encouraging stuff from Xavier Robinson in this game. I liked what I saw. Last running back, Jay Knott. I don't really know what to say, man. 4 for 11. I think the second play where he's in probably tells you the story of why he's not playing more.
I agree.
They run the speed sweep pop pass play to Elijah Thomas. He is out there supposed to be lead blocking. He doesn't touch anyone. I I feel like that play tells the story.
Yep. Just it's a strange scenario. I don't know. I don't know what the whole dynamic is like in that room, but I hope that maybe it was injury and lack of practice time, but it honestly feels like and looks like he's just been passed up by guys. And I don't know how or why that's the case.
We'll see if his role expands at all. One thing I will say, similar to the way that Arbuckle got the ball to Satania in this game, I do believe if you use Jay not that way, he can go make some plays for you. Get the man in space. Get the confidence going a little bit. Just get him some touches in space. I feel like he can help if you do that. But there's just no doubt. Like Tory Blaylock looks like a better player than Jay Knott right now.
From what we've seen so far, it doesn't even look close.
Right.
But
So
I mean, you haven't seen a whole lot of Ott. There's not a whole lot to go off of, but and in order to get to the situations like you're talking about where you can, try and find a way to get him the ball in space, like he's got to be able to do everything else too for you and do it with effort, physicality, toughness. I mean, those are prerequisites for getting in the football game at running back.
The body language doctors were out.
Yeah.
For Jaden, a lot of assessments of the old body language for number 0.
I get it. I mean,
it is what it is. One other running back note. Taylor Tatum has been in like a cast looking thing on his hand. It's now a smaller brace. And I would like to say he looks great physically right now. So maybe if he can come back, he can be your dynamic change of pace guy. Got to solve. Can't have the fumbling issues you had a year ago. We all know that. But he looks really good physically, moving well. I don't know. I don't know when he's going to be back in the mix. You got to be able to grip the football and running back, but just something to keep an eye on.
Yep. I mean, he's a guy that, true freshman last year in what was a brutal year to be on the offensive side of the ball. I still think that there's a lot of potential there. We'll see if we can tap into it.
Canick continues to be maybe the biggest weapon on the football team.
Timely.
4 for 86. Just makes a lot of big plays. He may need to learn how to hurdle. People are coming for those quads.
Yeah. He had a couple of awkward situations where they were coming up to tackle him. You hate seeing the one he got bent back. The one early, I think, is the first drive where, he's kind of barreling down the sideline and 2 guys close in on him. Like, yeah, he may have to find a way to finish some of those runs a little bit differently, but I still love what I see from him.
He's been really, really good in the passing game. His route running, like he creates space, man. He runs away from guys. It's impressive to watch. That being said, Ben Arbuckle, when he is putting some of his situational stuff together, for instance, like a 3rd and 1 in the 3rd quarter, and you get in 12 personnel and you run power, and it's him on Cameron Stewart, number 25, 1-on-1 on a down block, like that's not setting him up for success.
Yeah.
And it did not go well.
How much of that do you think is we got to continue to give him reps at it, game reps, and like as you dial in and these games become more like, I guess what I'm saying is, are they using him like that now to work on it, but that's not going to be the main role for him, down the stretch of conference play, or is that just how it has to be?
I would, now that we're getting into the SEC play, don't set him up to fail.
Yeah.
For example, about to play Auburn. Falk, one of their edge guys, is 285. Huge. Long arms. Expecting Jaren Kanak to block him is just silly. It's not going to happen, man. So don't do it. That's what I'm saying. And like, just don't put him in those situations. It's not from a lack of effort. It's not because he doesn't care. He's just not very good at it. So don't ask him to do it. It's not going to go particularly well. I'm just telling you. The tape does not lie. Now, when he's out in space and he's blocking like size guys, I really like what I see from Kanak. Linebackers, safeties, DBs like Nichols, like he's been doing a good job in those situations. But the 250, 260, 270 pound hand down DN, that's not his strength right now. So keep him out of those situations. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I guess the problem is we don't, well, like that's probably the biggest glaring hole offensive is we really don't have that guy.
I think tight end blocking is the biggest weakness of this offense.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with that being said, Carson Kent, I'm telling you, man.
I know, I like him.
He is undoubtedly, and it's not close, brother. He is undoubtedly our best blocking tight end. It's obvious on tape. So, why isn't he playing more? I know the coaches want to play the best players and want to win games. So that tells me the most likely Carson Kent needs to practice better and to earn Joe John Finley and Ben Arbuckle's trust, because from a technique and effort, a result standpoint, he is for sure the best blocking tight end on this football team.
Yeah.
He's got to earn their trust, though, to where he's out there like he is the second tight end and all the 12 personnel stuff with him and Kanak. That's like whatever he's got to do during the week to earn those guys' trust and be out on the field. Like it will help the football team if he's on the field. Like if we're getting in 12 personnel and we need a tight end at the point of attack in the run game with one of what I call those inflection point blocks, 86 is the best we got.
It's interesting that because you've said that for the last 2 weeks in a row.
Obvious when you watch it.
And it's looked that way through training camp as well. I don't know. You'd hope, and it's not like he is a good blocker, the best blocker, but has a glaring weakness running routes and catching the football. He's solid there as well, from what I've seen. I don't know if you agree.
Yeah, whatever he's got to do to prove that he's trustworthy on Saturdays, he's got to do it throughout the week of practice. Because that's the only thing I could think of to where he wouldn't be the go-to second tight end, like the tight end on the field in the 12 personnel stuff.
Yeah.
We saw some Cade McIntyre.
Yeah.
Good to see him back out there on the field, battled in the run game. Still not a strength of his, in my opinion. But he does seem like the natural backup for Kanak at the more H-backy type tight end position. I thought he did a solid job out on the perimeter in some of those situations. Ball really didn't find him in the pass game, but it was just good to see him out there and healthy. Need depth. Yeah, if Kanak is going to need some breathers throughout a game. If you feel like McIntyre's the most similar to him, like there's definitely a role for him to go out there, run some routes, catch some passes.
Caden Helms at some point too. I know he's had that hand issue. I mean, wonder how close he is.
I'm hoping close. We need all the help we can get at tight end.
Yep.
We need all these guys. All right, offensive line. Last but certainly not least. First of all, Fasusi in a boot didn't play. I will point out I saw him multiple times running with a walking boot on. And finally I was like, hey man, stop doing that. So I think but it was slightly encouraging. It brought a smile to my face. I was like, okay, I think he'll be ready to roll for Auburn. He's literally out here not sprinting, but running with a
I think
walking boot on.
I think he could have gone this, like
I agree.
if they had to have him, he probably could have gone. But it's nice to have some depth and continue to work on it.
Logan Howland played the entire game at left tackle and did some nice things in the run game, got some solid movement at the point of attack, especially in some of the gap scheme stuff. But, Ted, do you remember the technique issue we talked about with him early last season when he was struggling in his first action? It's back,
Uh-oh.
and it needs to go away. Stepping underneath himself initially in his set, not creating enough space, and that forces him, he's behind everything then. That forces him to drop that left foot inside, turn and open the hips, shorten the corner, makes it easy on the defender, and gets him beat. Pretty much every pass rush rep that he lost, that technique issue showed up. Got to go away.
Yeah.
He fixed it a year ago. I expect him to fix it this week in practice. But other than that, I thought Logan did some solid things. He's not a mauler at the point of attack. He's just not. But he did some good things. He needs to over exaggerate when he is pass setting this week in practice. Like, load up that right leg, press off that foot, don't rock back onto that right heel. Like, press off that right instep and get some depth. Create space with that left foot in your initial kick. Do not step underneath yourself and get behind everything and then open the gate. Bad. That's bad. I expect him to fix it. We saw Luke Buklenko. He came in, played some tackle, provided some good depth in case something happens with any of the other guys. Heath Zaida, I thought Heath was assignment sound, like going the right places, but I didn't think he played with the same force that he played with against Michigan. And it's kind of understandable, like, you compare the Michigan environment to the environment
right
there in Philly, but he absorbed a little too much in this game for me. When last week I was encouraged by some of the striking he needs to be a guy that strikes. Like, I want to see defensive linemen's head jolt back on the tape. When he climbs to the second level and hits backers, I want to see those guys' head jolt back on the tape. Didn't see enough of that on this tape. And the reason I bring it up is because I think he's capable of that.
Mm-hmm.
It's maybe it's as simple as saying, hey, turn the violence up, Heath Zaida. Let's go.
Yeah.
I know he's got it. I know it's in there. Need to see more of it. Jake Michaela, guy's really good in pass protection. There's no other way to say it. Like, this dude has been locked down at the center spot in pass protection. It is definitely, he may be the best pass protector on the team.
Wow.
Now, when Fasusi gets back, we can have a discussion. But he's been really, really good in the pass pro stuff. Still want to see more from him in the run game. I think he can be a really good zone center. I do. I think he's got the athleticism for that. And there are a couple of snaps where you see it, like he cuts it loose on a mid-zone play and he reaches a guy that's in a G and you're like, there it is, man. Just do that all the time. He's capable of doing it.
It looks like he's comfortable there. Like, he's kind of taken that spot and run with it, so to speak, as far as like the communication and kind of being the centerpiece there.
Yeah, I didn't see any. He did snap it like he thought a guy jumped off sides and he snapped it and the guy wasn't off sides. So that's not ideal. He had one of those, but I do not know why he was in the game when he was in the game when he got rolled up, and I'm frustrated about it, Ted.
Yeah.
Especially when you consider that Troy Everett didn't make the trip, which typically not a good sign.
No.
And I'm sure we'll let Coach Venables address that. I'm sure he'll get asked about it early in the week. But all of a sudden, you thought you were feeling really good about your depth at center, and now you got a guy that didn't even make the trip, and your starting center gets rolled up in garbage time.
Let's avoid that.
I was not happy.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I expect Michael. He seems like a tough dude. He's got tattoos and stuff, you know.
Yeah. Looks the part.
I don't know if we have another option, man. So it's like, hey, you figure it out. You got rolled up, Michael. I'm sorry, man. Ice that thing and let's roll, buddy.
Who's learning to snap this week?
Well, Fabechi Wiwu was the backup center in this game from everything that I could tell. One problem. He almost broke his leg in this game. He was this close. It looks awful on tape.
Someone fell into him on the backside.
25. Yeah. Cameron Stewart comes around the edge, gets kind of flung like the traditional guy flungs around straight into his legs while he's engaged in a run block. Awful. Looked awful. But Fabechi came back in the next series. Did not look particularly good. That happened early in the third quarter. And I'm telling you, man, it could have been really bad. But he came in for another series, and I'm just going to be real, man. He did not look great. He did not look like he was feeling good. That was his last series of the game, and Foje came in. So, Fasusi missed the game, was in a boot. Now, I think, like you said, I think he could have played. And then you got your starting center and your starting right guard get rolled up in the game. Not ideal, brother.
No.
But luckily, tough guys. Now, Ryan Foje got a lot of action. He looks really good when he's getting out there and pulling, man. That being said, I think he's gained too much weight.
I saw him walking after the game. He was walking off the field, and I can't remember who he was walking with, one of the other players, and I was like, oh my God, he is huge.
And remember, and the reason I say that, his movement patterns right now he looks slow, and he's never looked slow to me. And it was hot there. Like, I get that, but he was a lean guy in high school. And that's one of the reasons I really, really liked him. Because as you know, not a big fan of super fat linemen. You know that. He looks so heavy right now.
Kind of lumbering.
Yeah. And I just think maybe too much weight too fast. And I'm not here to body shame Ryan Foje. That's not what I'm trying to. I'm just telling you what my eyes are seeing, man. Like in some of the zone stuff, like he just is not moving super well.
What do you think? 340?
He's too heavy, brother. Whatever it is. Like he looks like the biggest guy on the field when he's out there.
He does.
And I think it's got to a point where like they need to, like he's got to lean out, man. That shouldn't be happening during the season either, especially if he's not playing a lot. Like he's not starting. Now if something happens, like he's going in the game at right guard. We all know that. But the way that it looks to me is too much weight too fast. And it's time to address it, in my opinion. Just saying. Right. That's just how I see it, brother.
Gotcha.
Derek Simmons, another solid performance from Simmons. I feel like I'm going to say that a lot this season. Just doing a nice job, plays with great effort, physical. Sure, he loses a rep here and there, but he's been very, very consistent at that right tackle spot. The only other guy we saw, Eddie Pierre-Louis, got some action. I love the effort. There's no question The guy's effort. He plays hard. Technique, technique, technique. It is all that EPL should work on for the rest of the year. Technique, bend, hands, feet, technique, bend, hands, feet, technique. If he wants to play at this level, his technique has to get better. His bend has to get better. Just the bottom line, man.
Yeah.
That's all I got. That was a lot, but that's all I got.
I like it. I like it. Good spot. As long as we can get healthier and stay healthy, I like it.
Let's get to call your shot. We asked you guys the number one thing that you took away from OU's win over Temple. This first one comes from at 955_rap_S. Quite the handle there. Oh, so this is what complimentary football looks like. Relentless defense, stacking stop offense, grinding the clock and punching it in. Special teams flipping the field. It's violent, disciplined, and connected. That's championship DNA. Hashtag Boomer Sooner. I would like to point out one thing. He used complimentary with an I. Complimentary in this case is with an E.
Okay.
Complimentary with an I is when someone says, hey, you look great today. Like they're complimenting you. Complimentary, fitting well and gelling together. Synergy it's an E, not an I.
Maybe he was talking about himself. He was complimenting the team.
Touche, maybe.
But I agree. I mean, 515 on offense and around 100 on defense. A lot of that's kind of in garbage time. Special teams flipped the field a couple of times, like you mentioned. It's when there's things in there, right, that you got to get better at, that we got to focus on a little more, need some more from some specific position groups. But when you view it all at once, 3 games in, you have to be pretty happy with how we're playing as a overall football team. And I think it's going to continue to sharpen up. If you could go get this win against Auburn this coming week, you're going to have some time to settle in, hopefully get healthy on some guys that are banged up, and start to really sharpen what you've done through the first 4 or 5 games.
I'm with you, man. And the thing about it is I watched a lot of football last night and went back this morning, watched a lot of football. Every team in college football has their issues, brother.
I keep saying, I don't know who the best team out there is.
I have not seen
a big group that's just everyone's kind of changing every week. No one is head and shoulders above.
I have not seen anyone where I went, oh, they would undoubtedly smoke us.
No.
Maybe they're out there, but I haven't seen them.
No. I totally agree with you.
I think this team can play with anyone in the country.
100%.
Especially with how this defense is playing.
It helps a lot.
No doubt. All right, let's recap some of the best games of week 3 of college football. But first,
Schwab Meat has been smoking the highest quality meats, hot dogs, and sausages in OKC since 1912. Go to schwabmeat.com to order any of Schwab's outstanding products and use promo code OKBreakdown for free shipping on orders over $75. Schwab dogs are iconic. I like to keep it simple. Just a bun, dog, mustard, ketchup. Also, the jalapeno cheddar smoked sausage is ridiculous. schwabmeat.com, code OKBreakdown for free shipping on orders over $75. Schwab Meat, the official hot dog of game days.
And head to the garage for hand smash patties, butter toasted buns, and ice cold beer. My go-to is the double bison cheeseburger. It's so good. The garage is the perfect spot to watch any big game, and you can enjoy Rad Hour every day. Enjoy discounted domestic beers, house wines, draft cocktails, and frozen cocktails Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m., and Saturday and Sunday from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Visit eatatthegarage.com to find a location near you or order online from the garage in your neighborhood.
Insurica's launched a new digital agency introducing Insurica Direct. Whether you're in Oklahoma or anywhere across the U.S., they've got you covered. From small business insurance and health insurance for your employees to insurance for individuals like home, auto, and even Medicare supplements. Insurica Direct's got it all. Start your journey today at insuricadirect.com. Remember, at Insurica, we specialize in you.
South Oval Lager is the NIL beer, and it's more than just that. It's program beer with pride in every sip. South Oval Lager is brought to you by Bagman Beverages, a collaboration between Skydance Brewing and Red and West. It's made by Sooner fans for Sooner fans. Their mission is to build a brand that tastes like tradition while investing in the future. Every South Oval Lager you drink supports NIL in Oklahoma through donations to the Sooner Club. Find it at Skydance Brewing or at any of their local retail partners across Oklahoma. Email drink@bagmanbeverages.com for more information or visit their website, bagmanbeverages.com. South Oval Lager, it's program beer. All right, time to recap the best games of week 3 of college football, and let's start in Knoxville. Oh, heartbreaker for the Vols. Georgia wins it 44-41 in overtime, Ted, and there are no moral victories in football. But it kind of feels like both teams are walking away from this one feeling pretty good about things.
Yeah.
For weird reasons.
What a win by Georgia to go in. I mean, they were just getting scorched when that game started. And they found a way to settle in. They got some big turnovers. Offensively, they obviously did enough. Is it weird to say that I'm still not real sure what both of these teams are?
I think they're both good.
Yes.
Are they elite? Maybe. I don't know. But Kirby Smart is going to be. He will not be pleased with the way that defense played. Like, that's his thing, man.
That's right.
Ton of yards, ton of points. Like you mentioned, Tennessee was carving them up early. But his team just battled through all that in a crazy environment, got a huge road win where they came back in the fourth quarter, and Gunnar Stockton did some really good things.
Yeah, he did.
They showed some explosiveness on offense. So Kirby's probably sitting there going, I would have loved for the defense to play better, but our offense showed something that a lot of people thought that they'd be lacking this season. And then on the other side, if you're Tennessee, if you're Josh Heupel, if you're the other guys in that locker room, you go, hey, man, if Max Gilbert makes a kick, we win the game.
It's crazy how a kick changes your entire perspective on a football game, right? Because you have some mistakes out there, right? But if you make the field goal, you just naturally look at it and say, hey, that's a really good football team that made some plays on us. There's some stuff we like to have back, but what a game. But you miss the field goal, and it's like the focus dials in on those mistakes. It is a game of inches. It really is.
Joey Aguilar wasn't perfect, but he was good, man.
That dude, he throws a nice deep ball.
It goes out of the screen. It goes so high.
Yeah.
I mean, but he threw for 371 and 4 touchdowns, and they lost at home.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure the numbers are out there and people have talked about this, but when's the last time someone threw for 371 and 4 touchdowns against Georgia? It's probably happened, but over the last 8 years, it's probably incredibly rare.
Yeah. So, and yeah, he had the 2 interceptions. The second one, the wide receiver just falls down. It's not his fault. So there are some big plays in this game. I thought maybe the most underrated play of the game, 4th and 3. And I think it was from like the minus 28 or something like that. They're down 21-7 and they convert to Branch on the slant and end up going and scoring on the first play of the second quarter. That kind of stabilized things, or else that thing may have come like completely off the rails for the Dogs.
you lose connection, and think guys just start to fade on you a little bit. But hey, Branch looked exactly like he's been built to look. That dude can fly.
Playmaker,
Yeah.
playmaker. It's and Stockton finds him.
Yeah.
Like, and he does some of the stuff where they just get the ball in his hands real quick and then say, hey man, go be a special athlete. And he rewarded them in a couple
Yep.
of those situations. Brazel had himself a day. 6 for 177 and 3 touchdowns.
Yep.
2 of them, Aguilar just threw it up to him and he said, all right, I'm gonna come down with this thing for you, buddy.
I like it. That's something that you go back when Tennessee has been their best. Like last year's version of Tennessee, you go back to like the Hendon Hooker's final year, they were more like this than they have been since. I think they were maybe a little bit better all the way around as a football team, personnel wise, a year ago and in between, but like the explosiveness is back. They didn't have that with Nico.
For a guy who has been like whose ability to pass has been questioned, Gunnar Stockton may have the throw of the year in college football. That 4th and 6 from what was it, like the 28-yard line?
Yep.
That ball to Humphreys was an absolute dime.
Yep. High level throw. He's kind of like, he reminds me of Mateer in a way that he's just got like a grit to him, like he's not one of those pretty quarterbacks often. It's, there's just some grit and some fire there, just gets it done.
They won the game in overtime the most Georgia way possible. 3 snaps of 13 personnel. It was the rare like walk-off touchdown that went to review, so it was like there was that weird uneasiness there.
Double celebration.
Yeah, it just made it a little anticlimactic, but dude, that was a heck of a football game. I think both of these teams are going to be in the mix till the very end. I think they're both playoff caliber teams. I think, but that's a heck of a win by Georgia by any means necessary, man. And they just went to Neyland and won a shootout. Sure,
I know. I thought it was going to be a tight game, but I thought Tennessee was going to win it. And they had the opportunity, but I guess my takeaway as I view everything through an Oklahoma lens, I think we can stand toe to toe with both of those teams right now. So you have to like kind of where you're at. Now, I think Georgia is a team that's going to keep getting better, right? They're younger than they've been over the last couple of years. They've got a new quarterback. Feels like he's starting to get some confidence there. Like we're 3 weeks in. We're in a good spot, but it ain't good enough to finish the year. You're going to have to keep getting better and better week by week.
I would like to point out Georgia not having to kick the extra point in overtime after the touchdown. Significant to many.
Oh my gosh.
Many.
Whew. There was a couple of those floating around out there.
There were. Let's talk about this next game, man. Texas A&M goes to Notre Dame and wins it 41-40. And on the list of ways that you can lose a game as a football player, losing a game because your holder drops a perfect snap on a PAT when you just scored a go-ahead touchdown in the last minutes of a massive game has to be way up there on that list. Absolutely brutal. One job. Catch the snap. Put it down. One job. Brutal way for Notre Dame to lose that game. Yeah, you could say Notre Dame's defense, hey, get a stop. You got to get a stop. You got to make the stop there on 4th down.
Did you see that hold?
It was brutal. I don't know how they didn't call that. The guy got tackled.
Straight up tackle.
I
Credit to the offensive lineman though. Hey, like
I
you got
was
to do
watching
whatever you
it
got to
and
do.
out loud, my wife was laying in bed. I was laying on the couch watching. I go, that's a hold. Didn't call it. I guess it's not a hold if you don't call it.
I was ball watching. I had them as my upset of the week, so I was hooting and hollering and yelling. That was after the Notre Dame uh, botched extra point. That was a nervous extra point for Texas A&M.
The blocking tied in with the game-winning touchdown is just insult to injury for Notre Dame. What is it? It's fourth and goal from the 11-yard line. Marcel Reed throws it up to a blocking tight end. He comes down with it.
Hey, credit. I thought Marcel Reed, even though he was banged up, what a gutsy performance.
This is do not look at the stat line. Do not look at the box score for Marcel Reed. It is not indicative of how well that guy played in this game.
Yep.
I thought he was the difference in the game. I thought he was the difference in the game for Texas A&M. Some of the throws he had, and remember, that was a big question mark surrounding him coming into this season. Like, hey, can this guy throw the ball? Having Concepcion and Craver certainly helps.
Yeah.
They may have the best 1-2 in all of college football, wide receiver.
Say what you want about A&M. Uh, they've had their ups and downs, but that's a talented football team, talented on defense, talented at wide out. Like they got some dudes on that team. If they can pull it all together, they're going to be dangerous.
They're talented on defense, but I'm not sure they're very good on defense, Ted.
They seem undisciplined at a minimum.
I was underwhelmed by both defenses in this game.
I love that Elko went over there and lit into those guys.
Did he throw a chair? I think he threw
yeah.
a chair.
Yep.
Nice. But as we all expected with these two teams, just a shootout in South Bend. Dude, the overhit in the first half.
It's crazy.
I guess you never know what type of game you're going to get. There were guys running open all over the field, and there was some high level running back play in this game.
Yeah.
You look at Price and Love for Notre Dame, and then Moss for Texas A&M. Those are three Sunday backs right there, brother.
Yep.
Any big takeaways either side? I kind of feel like Marcus Freeman and that culture at Notre Dame is going to get tested a little bit because it kind of feels like their college football playoff hopes are dead.
Yeah. You got to win out, and I'd have to go back and look at their schedule. If I remember, it was super front loaded. And, I don't know. We'll see with them. Like this is one of those years where it still kind of feels like there's not going to be an undefeated team. I don't know. Like it's so hard to remember everyone's schedules. There's some people in the Big Ten that have some easier schedules than what you see in the SEC by a million miles. So maybe it happens, but maybe it's one of those years where 10-2 with the two losses that they have ends up being a really nice resume, but it's going to be tough. They very early in the season, their backs are against the wall and they can't have any more mistakes the rest of the year.
It's one of those years where you go, hey, Notre Dame, if you were in a conference, you'd be able to play yourself back into this thing. Like if they were in the ACC, it wouldn't surprise me at all if they ended up playing a rematch against Miami in the ACC championship game with a chance to go to the playoff if they won it. But this is a price that they were willing to pay with the independents.
Was that a fake Brett McMurphy thing going around about joining a conference?
He was trying to be funny. Brett tries to be funny.
I saw that. I was like, that there's no way that's real.
No, Brett tweeted it.
It was real, but not.
Yeah, it was a joke.
Yeah.
It was a joke. Yeah.
Well, good, because I laughed at it.
So did I.
I was like, whatever.
The only other thing from this game is I I just can't believe Texas A&M won the game in those jerseys. Those are not big game jerseys, but hey, they managed to overcome it and win a massive game wearing those jerseys. It is.
Yeah. Um, I don't know. I'm curious to see where A&M goes. I think that, defensively, like we said, they've got a lot of talent. If the discipline comes, they're going to be dangerous. And if Marcel Reed continues to be, I mean, he's a dangerous runner. We all knew that. But if he continues to refine his game and be a better all around quarterback, they could be dangerous.
Next game, last game. Florida went to Death Valley at night, and we watched DJ Lagway in his first SEC road start completely melt down in front of all of our eyes. That
Yeah.
was an absolute disaster for Florida's quarterback. It honestly got to a point where I started feeling bad for him. That's how bad it got. He melted down in front of 102,000 people at Tiger Stadium. He
Yeah.
lost his team the game. Like, I think if they would have played a different quarterback, they may have won the game because that defense played really well. And he just couldn't stop throwing it to the other team. It was crazy.
5. And yeah, I mean, you could probably count on one hand the amount of against legitimate competition that teams have turned the ball over that much and won a football game. Turns out practice is important at quarterback, right? And the amount of time that he missed, it was a talking point for us all the way through the offseason. I think that tells the story with Florida right now. A lot of people had them making a run this year because they've got some talent. They running game, offensive line, the backfield, D line. They have some guys, but if your quarterback's throwing 5 picks, you ain't going to go nowhere. I'm starting to question LSU a little bit too. How are you on LSU?
Don't ask Brian Kelly about the offense or else he'll freak out on you.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, I understand his response. I mean, I think it is the right response, but
It's a
I'm just
fair question, man. Now, should it be the first question you ask in the post-game press conference? No.
right.
No, that's got to be down the line. Like, hey, coach, congrats on the amazing win. Any concerns that your offense doesn't seem to be able to quite find a rhythm? Probably get a different response down the line in a press conference from Brian Kelly. But there's no doubt that offense it is not humming the way that everyone thought it would,
No.
including me.
Yep.
But they're having trouble running it. Garrett Nussmeier isn't like they're not producing big explosive plays in the passing game. Like that offense does not look the way that a lot of people thought it would. And it's not that big of a deal though, because they're playing really good defense.
Right. Yeah. Defense has been the big surprise for LSU. Again though, like LSU was what, number 3 this week? It's another top 5, top 10 team that I look at and I say, not scared of that matchup. I think we can stand toe to toe with them, and you have to like where you sit right now. Got to continue to get better. I'm going to keep hammering that home. Like how good you are today doesn't really get you anything at all. So, but um, I love that there's so many big games that's what the great thing about being in this conference. There's so many big games now that directly impact you as a team. It just changes the way you watch a lot of these games. At least it does for me.
It changes the way you feel about your football team.
Yeah.
The results of these other big games, you're like, oh, okay. It is a lot of fun. I would like to point out that LSU put that defensive performance together with Whit Weeks, the leader of that defense, getting thrown out on the first drive of the game on what I believe was I don't think it was a malicious hit at all, but the targeting rule sucks. I feel like I got to say that one more time. But it feels like LSU's got one of the better defenses in the country, Ted. And the reason Lagway had to throw it so much was they completely shut down that Florida running game, which is supposed to be a big strength of that team. Also, why did Billy Napier not pull Lagway? Like, dude, he was throwing interceptions into double and triple coverage. It was clear he wasn't seeing it. And he just kept dropping him back and say, hey, go figure it out, DJ.
I don't know.
I thought that was a mistake from Napier. I thought the play calling wasn't great. I thought they should have just kept trying to run it more when you knew your quarterback was struggling the way he was. But also, I don't know their backup situation, but it couldn't have been any worse than that.
You would think not. I mean, you kind of like in this game, yes, but I guess the amount of pressure he's under, it's like he's backed into a corner. Like what's the move you make? And if you pull him and you go out there and you're back up, the results are very similar, and you're not out of a football game. It's like there's almost, because of where he is right now, there's almost no right move. I don't know it, but I'm with you. At some point, you got to say, okay, not your night.
There were some throws in that game from Lagway where you just go, okay, yeah, I get it. I see it. But he was he was reckless with the football.
Yep.
5 interceptions. 1 was a pick 6. Like that 10-point gap when he was dropping back late, it felt massive. They were right in the game, even though he couldn't stop throwing it to LSU's defense.
I know. Which, you go back to last year, and there was a lot of YOLO throws early in the season with him, but he got better and better as the year went on. Because he missed the entire offseason, like there hasn't been any real progression. He's starting this season, it feels like, at the same place he started last season, So, and it's put them with their schedule and what they're staring down. It's put them in a very difficult place.
Nussmeier had one of the most casual interceptions I've ever seen in the fourth quarter of that game. What was that?
I saw that same exact throw like 3 times yesterday. Guys, little scramble under pressure out on the right and throwing it back. Malachi Nelson had the exact same throw in the UTEP Texas game, which we'll get to, but yeah, that was not good.
It was like it's like he forgot it was a game and it wasn't practice. That's how it looked. Like he's just like, there you go. That's crazy.
I mean, you don't even have to have been around football, but that is like the cardinal rule of quarterbacking, right? Would you scramble, throwing it late back over the middle?
Big win.
Yep.
LSU wins at 20-10, and the Florida Gators, I'm not really sure how bad they are. I think they're pretty good on defense, but the vibes in Gainesville, not good.
No, because it's like you don't have any rest. Do they have Miami this week?
Is that this week?
Or next? I don't know. I could be wrong on that.
Well, let's look it up real quick.
I'm trying to, but I'm not going anywhere.
I do not
Miami,
see.
Yes.
Oh.
At Miami. That's the game day game, I think.
Suspicious line. Miami currently a 3-point favorite.
Kitty.
Interesting. Yeah, I think we'll probably talk about that one on Wednesday. All right, let's finish up with our winners and losers of the weekend. But first, for all of us Sooners, there comes a time when we need help. We need someone to fight for us, and that Sooner is Jeff Marr at the Marr Law Firm. If you are battling cancer or any other life-threatening condition and your insurance carrier is either slow playing or outright denying your treatment, use the law to get the medical care you need. Marr Law Firm believes you shouldn't have to fight your insurance company while also fighting for your life. Go to see Jeff Marr at the Marr Law Firm. They turn victims of insurance bad faith into champions. And three things matter in banking: service, service, and service. And First Fidelity Bank's commitment to exceptional service is more than a promise, it's their foundation. FFB has been by your side for over a century, and they are honored to be a part of your journey. Banking isn't about where you've been, it's about where you are headed. Open an account at an award-winning bank today at ffb.com. At First Fidelity Bank, we go where you go. And go to outlasted.com and use promo code TED for 10% off our podcast merchandise and the best OU gear out there. That's outlasted.com and use promo code TED. Buttery soft and 10% off. As always, Ted, kick us off. Who do you have as your winner of the weekend?
I mean, how about Vandy? Diego Pavia just manifesting this season, all off season, talking about it, right? And they go in and beat South Carolina's ass in their own place. And I know Sellers got knocked out of the game, but it looked pretty clear that Vanderbilt was the better football team in every aspect, right?
They were undoubtedly the better team.
Not a fluke. That's to just show up into your house and beat you like we've been a top 10 team for the last 10 years.
If Lenora Sellers doesn't get knocked out of the game, and I did not think that was a malicious hit at all. I thought it was very similar to the R. Mason Thomas hit.
Frankly, I was shocked that hit how did that hit knock him out of the game? That's a 250-pound quarterback.
It's a fair question, dude. Sometimes
glanced his helmet.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're right. Sometimes it happens, but
concussions are weird, man. I don't know, but I hate that he got knocked out of the game, but if he would have played the entire game, Vandy still wins. Maybe they win by less, but they still win the football game because they controlled the point of attack.
Yep.
And you don't have to like Diego Pavia, but you better respect the man because he makes plays and he wins games and he has changed Vanderbilt football.
There's no doubt.
It was, dude, some of the runs that they ripped off in the second half of that game, it was just, they were just.
Made them quit. Emptied the stadium. That's a hard one to recover from. I think everyone understands that Vanderbilt with Pavia at court, that's not the same Vanderbilt. Everyone understands that, but still, that is a devastating loss for South Carolina in the way that it happened. Hard to recover from.
Clark Lee, guy can coach. They've given him time there. Now it helps when you find a QB and somehow he gets extra years. Like I'm convinced he's playing college football forever, and I'm fine with that. Give me all the Diego Pavia at Vandy you want to give me. But this is the first time Vandy won its SEC opener since 2011, Ted.
Wow.
And they did it on the road in Columbia.
Against the number 11 team in the country.
And smacked him around, brother. It wasn't close.
Hey, a guy, it's crazy. And I think we've seen it to some, degree with Mateer at quarterback. Like how a football team changes when you have a guy that everyone believes in. But when there's someone that has reckless confidence and then goes and backs it up, they walk into every single game thinking they have a chance. It changes the way you prepare. It changes how everyone plays. Team first. I'll do whatever it takes to get the win, whatever role I need to fill. You love it. I'm a fan of what's going on at Vandy for sure.
I don't know if Vandy's going to amount to anything this season, but the fact that Pavia said all that stuff in the offseason, we're like, no, I'm back to win a national championship. Currently, I can't call the guy crazy.
No.
And no one can. because they have very much backed that attitude that they had leading into the season up.
Hey, I can tell you one result of the season for Vandy this year is Clark Lee's going to get paid a ton of money, whether it's by Vanderbilt, by Florida, by I don't know who. I he's about to make a life changing money.
Very entertaining offense. All the moving parts. Pavia will take risks with the ball that like no other quarterback will take.
Mm-hmm.
If you haven't watched Vandy, man, yeah, they're fun. They're fun. That's the best way to describe it. They're
I
fun.
would have liked to watch more of them last night, but I had to change it and watch some other stuff that was going on. They've already wrapped that, road win against the top 15 team. It's wrapped up. I got it. See you later, boys.
Didn't want to watch the garbage time in
No,
Columbia. Ouch.
brutal.
Who do you have as your loser of the weekend?
It's strange to take a team that won the football game as a loser, but Texas has some real problems. Um, can they fix them? Does Arch Manning come around? I don't know. I have to say probably, but they
Do
have.
you?
I I don't, but it's part of me is just not wanting to get too far ahead, and some of this is like self-preservation, I guess, right?
Right.
Like
You don't want to get too excited about how disjointed Texas's offense looks currently.
currently, if we played Texas this week, we would destroy them, in my opinion. Now, what happens in October, I don't know. But that offense right now against our defense, I'm sorry, they're not going anywhere. Um, and it's been a while, but I talked about this on my radio show a long time ago whenever Arch Manning was still a recruit. That it everyone in the country wants him to come to your program, but because of the star power and the name, there's a really good chance that if he's not great, he puts you in a really bad spot. And I think Sark is in that really bad spot right now because he's playing poor football at quarterback and you don't really have an option. If you bench him, it appears that you've taken the best talent that we've seen at quarterback, the number one draft or number one recruit, and you can't make him any better. Is it Arch or is it you? And he's like, I feel like he's put in this bad spot where you can't really maneuver anywhere. You have to roll with it no matter what it is.
I I think Steve Sarkisian is one of the best play callers in college football, which is why I think they're going to change their offense. I think it's going to
They
become
already
because
have.
and you saw some of it against UTSA. You saw some of it. Getting Arch going in the QB run game, like that becoming, I think that's going to become a bigger piece of what they're going to do offensively.
I think they ran it 55 times in a tight game with UTEP.
They have to adjust.
They It was 7-3 before halftime. And I don't it was really weird. There was like a minute and a half left and they both had like multiples. It was really weird. But there's 6 seconds left in halftime and they're at first and goal from the 6 and they are desperate to get into the end. Like they're not kicking a field goal.
Arch runs into the end zone with 1 second left, and he
Yes.
he takes off on a scramble and scores a touchdown
Right.
right before the half.
Right. Like we desperately have to score because this game is in question. I don't know that we can separate in the second half.
He's struggling throwing the football. And yes, the mechanics on a lot of the throws, they look different. They look weird. There's no denying that. Still can't believe Sarkisian addressed that situation with the bathroom face comment. That was so weird, so strange. But he's struggling throwing it. So Sarkisian, you got to adjust, man. If you can't go to another quarterback, if you don't trust another guy to run your scheme, you got to adjust the scheme. You got to become a more run heavy, QB run threatening team. And I actually saw it like this was that second half. I think we saw the start of maybe what they're going to be offensively, and they're going to lean on a run game, try to get easy throws for Arch, and then lean on that defense, man, because they got a good defense. They got another good defense. There's no doubt about it. But right now, I feel like Texas fans know they know what a good offense looks like. And they know that their eyes are telling them they don't have a good offense right now.
There's no doubt. And I believe that they are going to transition as a football team, an offensive football team, as you just laid out. The good thing, as you view it for us, is they're transitioning right into our will zone. Like that's where we want to be on defense. If you want to, because I still don't know. Like the thing I don't know is you get a good quarterback that can spin it, spread us out, nickel and dime us, put us in space, really have a good all around passing attack. Haven't really seen that yet. I've seen what happens when people try to pull more people in and run the football. That is not the way to beat Oklahoma currently.
And CJ Baxter got hurt like on the first play of the game.
See, and that's the thing. Wingo looks amazing whenever he gets the ball. That dude is special.
You think he's frustrated right now?
Oh my God. They're good at running back. To me, it is clear that they have taken a large step back, at least where it sits today, at quarterback, tight end, and offensive line. And it's going to be hard to get very far if those position groups are lacking on offense. We'll see if their defense can keep them in some stuff, and they've got explosive playmakers, and they'll find a way to get those guys the ball. But they've got real issues right now, and even though I would just watch Lagway throw 5 interceptions, I think Florida wins that game as it sits today. By the time they play it, will things change? Perhaps, but as it sits today, I don't know that they can go on the road and win that game.
So far through 3 games, and let's remember they did go to Ohio State in the opener, but so far through 3 games, with the other 2 games being against San Jose State and UTEP, Arch Manning is completing 60% of his passes and has 5 touchdowns and 2 interceptions.
Yeah,
it's just not the type of production you're looking for.
Pluck out that San Jose State game, and it looks real bad. Because I think in San Jose State, he was like 30 of 34 or something like that, which is not what he's looked like at all in the other games.
And even with that performance, the people that were watching that game, especially early, were still saying, like, hey, it does not look
He got booed yesterday at home.
How we doing, Texas fans? Everything okay?
Comment section was
they know what it looks like, man.
Yeah.
They've had some really good offenses over these last couple of years, or at least offenses that put up serious numbers, had big time playmakers. And that's not the product they're seeing right now. The frustration is growing. This was supposed to be the year, remember?
It's supposed to be the year.
They were building towards this year.
I keep going back to this. We're 3 weeks in, and there's nobody right now that stands out that is the clear overall favorite to go win a championship. There's so many teams that changed quarterbacks. It's a race to November to see who can improve the most between now and then. Like I still think Texas is going to get much better. I think LSU, Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, I think these teams are going to continue to get better. But if that's not the case and you stagnate, Like no one's blowing my doors off right now. I feel like we are. I mean, there's a bunch of teams in it, but I feel like we're in the title race right now, where you want to be.
I I can't disagree with that. And I will say we're 3 weeks in. I've seen Lagway. I've seen Aller. I've seen Sane at Ohio State. I've seen Arch. I've seen Carson Beck. I've seen Gunnar Stockton. I've watched a ton of college football through the first 3 weeks. I'm taking Mature over everyone,
Still there.
over all of them. I
Yep.
just, over all of them. I, I think we've got the best playmaker at the quarterback position in college football. So,
Well, I think a good place to be is I wouldn't trade my quarterback for anyone else in college football. And I think you feel the same. I wouldn't trade our defense for anyone else in college football.
not with what we've seen so far, brother.
Right. So that's a good place to be 3 weeks in.
No doubt about it. All right, let's get to my winner and loser. But first, this episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code OKBreakdown to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. We all make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. And it's so simple to play. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. If you get your picks right, you could cash in. Prize Picks is also the best way to get action on sports in more than 40 states, and they put their users first. All withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure, and they also offer injury reboots. If one of your players leaves the game in the first half and doesn't return, Prize Picks won't count it as a loss. Prize Picks is the best way to win cash this football season. Make your picks in less than 60 seconds and turn your takes into cash all season long on Prize Picks. Join millions of users and sign up today. Download the Prize Picks app and use code OKBreakdown to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code OKBreakdown to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. All right, for my winner of the weekend, give me the Miami Hurricanes. Was an interesting spot, right?
Yeah.
With South Florida coming off a couple of big wins over Boise and Florida, and Miami handled them 49-12. I think Mario Cristobal's got himself a squad, Ted.
Yeah.
They look
They got
good.
star power, man. We haven't seen that from Miami. Like they've had one or two guys here and there that are really good, but they've got talent.
Now, maybe it could have been a little more interesting if South Florida wouldn't have settled for field goals in the first half in the red zone. Like if they were able to score some touchdowns, maybe this game would have been a little more fun to talk about. But as I watched the game, Miami just looked so fast. Like their skill guys just on both sides, like their defensive backs, their wide receivers, their running backs, they were just moving at a different speed than South Florida. And South Florida's got some athletes now.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I think Miami's got an argument that they may have the most dynamic group of skill guys in college football. Like Mark Fletcher Jr. at running back, he's a dude. And then I was looking at their explosive plays in the passing game. They had they had plays of 36, 24, 51, 39, 27, and 20. I mean, just big chunk plays in the passing game. Malachi Tony may look like the best freshman in college football. But maybe the biggest compliment I can give them is they're fun to watch, dude.
Yeah.
Miami's a fun team to watch play football.
And you're getting what you need out of drawing a blank your quarterback. Carson Beck. Distribute the ball to playmakers, man. Just distribute the ball to playmakers. And he's doing a really good job of that so far. Ultimately, that's what you want. I mean, you need that's what I think that's the strength of his game too. Like you have guys like your Pavias, Mateers, Nussmeyers, to a large degree that are playmakers that create, that get out and run, scramble, stress defenses. Beck is a distributor of the football, and they've been able to do that perfectly so far this year.
He's also acting like a different human. Like, guy moved to South Beach, and now he's all smiles, and he's celebrating, and looks like he's having a bunch of fun. I still don't know if he's an elite quarterback in college football, And he made some mistakes in this game, but he's solid. You're right, man. Like he's a solid game manager. And that's it. I've always thought it was silly that like the term game manager has a negative connotation. With the skill of the guys that he's got, that's all he needs to be, man.
That's
Distribute
it.
it, let those guys be special athletes.
Distribute it. Let your guys make the plays. Uh, you're going to have to make some throws here and there, especially as the competition ramps up. And I don't know that it's going to ramp up all that. I mean, like Florida, you're going to have to make some throws against Florida. You're going to be under pressure in the pocket. Like you're going to have to do some things. But right now, and they're playing good enough on defense to where he hadn't been put in the spot where it's on you. It's on your arm to go win the football game. Been able to be fairly I mean, conservative's not the right answer, but he hadn't had to put the team on his back and go win it so far.
Yeah. I think it has a lot to do with them being really good at the line of scrimmage on both sides.
It's a lot like Ken Dorsey back in '01. Whenever you had all that talent, just get these guys the football.
They got a solid case to be number one in the country.
Resume wise, yeah. And that's the thing about South Florida. Like, it's a little bit different when you have everyone's attention when you're rolling into town. You know what I'm saying? Like, you go win 2 games as an underdog. You ain't sneaking up on anyone, and you're going to catch teams coming right out of the gate on fire.
I knew they had their attention when all the Miami players were throwing the horns down.
That's right.
I won't lie. I was a little confused for a second. I was like, wait, why are they doing? I was like, oh yeah, they're playing the Bulls. Got it. Don't be an idiot, Gabe. Good win. Good win. Miami looks good. My loser of the weekend. Clemson. Went to Georgia Tech. Lost on the walk-off field goal. Mayday field goal. Perfectly executed. Mayday field goal. This is why you got to be nice to kickers, Ted. Because you never know when you need them. Apparently, you got to be nice to holders, too. Ask Notre Dame. But this is where I'm at with Clemson. I've said this multiple times on here. I will continue to say it. They will not be an elite team in college football until Dabo Swinney starts doing everything he can to build the best roster he can for that school. And I don't believe he's doing that. And that's why I wasn't buying all the hype coming into this season. Like, I did not think Clemson was going to be a national championship caliber team. And I think that's well reflected in the fact that they went to Georgia Tech and got beat. And Georgia Tech's good. Don't get me wrong. Like, I like what Brent Key has built down there. I like how physical they are. I like what they do in Buster Faulkner's offense. They fly around defensively. Like, I'm not saying that Georgia Tech's not really good. I think they're good. I think they're a playoff caliber team. But just Clemson, they're not elite anymore. They're just not.
No. I don't think so. And, you thought that they were, with everyone replacing quarterbacks and replacing a bunch of veteran players through the portal, and you thought that, okay, they're going to be able to start well ahead of where a lot of other teams are going to be able to start because of the amount of returners that they have coming back, that D-line. But it just kind of looks like they're a good team, but not much better.
Well, and this is the thing. Their defense, Clemson's. I think I added an extra. Is this there? Clemson's defense. They had a chance to get a stop and get the ball back for their offense. Couldn't get Georgia Tech off the field. Gave up multiple third down conversions to Haynes King.
Which, back to the Carson Beck conversation. Carson Beck, distributor. Haynes King, playmaker. Right?
I love that guy.
Put the team on your back and go get it done. Just a physical, gutsy performance.
But if you're supposed to be one of or the best defense in the country, you get off the field there. and they didn't. And Aiden Bird trots out there, buries a 55-yarder. So I think one of the frustrating things, like, hey, if you're a Clemson fan, defense has a chance to get a stop, get you the ball back, maybe you go win the game. But also, Klubnik got outplayed by Haynes King.
Yeah.
Like, he just did. So you thought you were going to have one of, if not the best quarterback, and one of, if not the best defense, and they both let you down in this game. That's got to be really frustrating for that fan base.
Yeah. You know, they LSU, they had opportunities in that game, couldn't get it done at home, come out after like the week 2 and do not look good for huge chunk of that game, able to find a way to win it. But, you know, this one was back and forth. Georgia Tech, it's not like this was a fluky deal for them at all. They made big plays. Klubnik had a red zone interception. Did you see that play? That guy just from like 3 yards away jumps up and just plucks it out of the air. Was a great play, but
it was a great play by that running back from Clemson. That should have been a pick six.
Yeah.
But that running back, he was, I mean, just tremendous effort. And they end up holding them there to a field goal. Like, that was a huge play in the game.
Yep. I mean, they had, you know, Wesco had the explosive, the long touchdown, 75 or whatever it was. And that's really the bulk of the offense right there. Is it all came on that one explosive play, which, you know, credit them for making it, but it's disjointed, it feels like right now with Clemson.
Georgia Tech overcame some mistakes. I'm with you, man. I mean, they gave up a 3rd and 22, which allowed Clemson to go score a touchdown right before the half, got them some momentum. You mentioned the, what was it, 73, 75-yarder to Wesco. Remember, they tried the QB sneak with the tight end on 4th and 1. They fumbled the snap, turned it over. Like, they were not super clean in this game. But they got it done, man, and that's all that matters. And I will always appreciate that Dabo Swinney does it his way. I appreciate that. I like that he's loyal to his guys, but the bottom line is he is not building the best roster he can possibly build there. And until he does it, I'm kind of out on Clemson as a real contender.
And, you know, here's the thing. Like, your last impression of Clemson was, you know, or so far this season, I guess, not even your last. Lost to LSU at home, down double digits to Troy at halftime, lose to Georgia Tech. Well, you're not going to see them again until they play Florida State in November. Like, not going to. They play Syracuse and North Carolina and Boston College, SMU, Duke. Not going to hear from them unless they lose. So they're not gonna make an impression on anyone until that Florida State game, and we'll see what Florida State is by then. And then they've got South Carolina the last game of the year. But resume wise, I don't think it. Not just resume wise, how they look on the field. Not a playoff team.
No, that's. I feel like that's over.
We've almost eliminated 2 teams already from like the sure thing playoff, right? Notre Dame and Clemson. I mean, not totally eliminated, but I mean, gasping for air.
And those would be like in a draft of, hey, who are you absolutely sure will make the playoff? Those 2 teams would have gone very early in the draft before the season.
Clemson was my first pick. ACC.
Easy
whatever.
schedule, great defense, really good quarterback.
Favorite.
That's why they play the games, baby.
Life comes at you fast.
Birthday shout-outs. Welcome to the world, Elijah Baker Kilgore.
Oh, I messed up again. And happy fourth birthday to Augustine Wiggins.
Augustine.
Augustine?
That's not like
Augustine
Saint
Wiggins.
Augustine. That's Augustine.
I like it.
Augustine Wiggins. Happy 33rd birthday to Alec Karjala.
Happy 34th birthday to Clayton Johnson.
And happy 57th birthday to Steve Quintero. Do you think I went too fancy on Karjala? I kind of fancied it up.
Yeah, I know someone with the last name and it's pronounced Karjala, but
Oh,
I don't know if that's unique to
is
their
it spelled
family.
that way?
I think so.
Okay. Well, how about this?
Karjala.
Happy birthday, Alec. There we go. On that note, episode 563 in the books. We'll have a new podcast that'll drop on Wednesday. We are scheduled to be joined by Jason Campbell. What I believe 2004
Yep.
SEC Player of the Year. Played 10 years in the NFL, does the radio broadcast for Auburn. So hoping we can get connected with Jason. And then it's hard. He's a busy man, but we're trying to get Cole Kubelik on In the Weeds, people. Hey, do us a favor and just tweet Cole like you have to come on In the Weeds.
Blow him up.
With Teddy and Gabe. Yeah, like just give him a little nudge. He's really busy, but we're trying to find a time early in the week to get our man Kubelik on to talk some X's and O's on In the Weeds.
Apply the pressure, people.
Apply the pressure. Do your thing. Do your thing, guys. Make sure Cole Kubelik knows you want him on In the Weeds. Gotta have you, Kubelik.
I like it.
Just a reminder, please subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen to podcasts, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're getting closer to 30,000, Ted. Come on, people. Get us there. Please.
Go.
Hope you all have a great start to your week. Until next time, we appreciate you all for listening. Do what you always do, Oklahoma. Take care of each other.